Are you a dreamer or an artist? Do you maintain your imagination and see possibilities others miss? Think about Da Vinci, Beethoven, Dali, Lady Gaga, and Basquiat. What's in common in them? They are creative, they challenge traditional norms and conventions, they're innovators and creators. They're also all considered to have a higher level of openness to experience. Today, we're introducing the dimension openness to experience as one of the big 5 personality traits. What is openness to experience? Openness to experience is a basic dimension of personality that has been discovered consistently through different methods, including lexical studies, language analysis, survey measures, theories, and genetic structure. The dimension was named culture, intellect, sensation versus intuition, and optimal personality before, and it reflects the breadth, depth, and permeability of conscientiousness, and in the recurrent need to enlarge and examine experience. In other words, people with a higher level of openness to experience have a different process of thinking. They can better tolerate ambiguity, access more thoughts and feelings in conscientiousness, and motivate to seek diverse experiences. There are 2 important aspects of the concept. The first one is the intellect, and the second one is the culture. Intellect. Openness to experience is the personality that reflects intelligence. As I mentioned, people with a higher level of openness use different processes to seek, detect, comprehend, utilize, and appreciate complex patterns of information. These processes are cognitive exploration. Empirically, data has also shown that openness is consistently positively correlated with intelligence tests, and it's the only dimension in Big 5 that's correlated with intelligence. Openness as culture. The label culture suggests that the dimension openness is the result of education, especially the traditional liberal education that has been highly valued by Western universities. This approach emphasizes various aspects such as exposure to diverse ideas, development of skills in both arts and sciences, and promote a critical mindset in questioning accepted norms and beliefs. Empirical studies show modest relationship between openness and years of education. Openness and gender. When examining the relationship between gender and openness, the focus is often on how cultural factors and education influence women's career path. Research suggests that women who exhibit traits associated with openness are likely to pursue certain types of jobs and attain particular statuses in the workforce in comparison to men. Back in the late 1960s and 70s, when women began to gain more opportunities in the workforce, it was the perfect environment for women with stronger openness personalities. These women were more likely to imagine themselves in male-dominated fields, seek out work that matched their interests, and take their professional aspirations seriously from a young age. On the other hand, women who scored lower in openness tended to prefer traditional paths that lacked clear career goals and often felt resistant to entering the workforce. Women with higher openness are drawn to intellectually stimulating work that requires advanced education or allows for creative expressions, like the arts. They're not as interested in routine, highly structured work and tend to resist gender-biased expectations that limit their potential. That's why they often pursue higher levels of education and prefer working for themselves over being employed by others. These women thrive in jobs that allow for creative expression, and financial rewards aren't their main motivator. Instead, they value creativity and independence in their work. Openness and national culture. There's some reports that suggest that the openness domain of personality has not been consistently extracted in China. This is because Asian cultures tend to be more collectivistic, meaning that individuals prioritize the goal of a group rather than their own personal goals. Also due to the influence of Confucianism and communism in Chinese culture, which historically impacted the expression of openness. However, with increasing intellectual investment in invention in digital Asia, we're starting to see a shift towards more openness characteristics. However, personality psychologists has argued that personality is primarily influenced by genetics, meaning that the basic personality traits are rooted in our genes. So even if someone is naturally extroverted, they will likely be talkative regardless of their culture or whether they speak Chinese, English, or German. Interestingly, shared environment doesn't seem to have a strong influence on personality traits like genetics does, but here's the twist. Personality may actually affect culture at an aggregated level. So even though culture may not necessarily shape an individual's personality, the collective personality of a group can shape the culture of a society. Openness and age. Openness varies by different age through experiences. Experiences tend to increase with age increase, and there are different theories of how experiences can impact openness. First, growing up and growing older, you experience more novel situations, which push the boundaries of previous experience, which will then impact your level of openness. In addition, experiences are cognitively stimulating. Going back to the root, openness contains more cognitive content than any other Big Five traits, and the levels in intelligence and verbal fluency predict changes in openness through the experience and age. Openness and religion. A meta-analysis uncovered a complex yet clear pattern of correlations. It turns out that open and mature religion as well as spirituality are strongly associated with high levels of openness. On the other hand, it's not surprising that religious fundamentalism is linked with low openness. Openness and workplace. Research has shown that openness to experience is the most significant personality trait for predicting innovation propensity. These individuals have a more innovative and creative mindset, as they are more likely to explore and be receptive to new ideas and experiences. They tend to think outside of the box, challenge traditional norms, and have a broader perspective on issues. So if you're looking to succeed in a job that demands innovation and creativity, it's critical with a higher level of openness to experience. What is your level of openness to experience? What is your personal experience of your openness level with various life and work perspectives? Thanks for watching.